had to re-record this like 3 times to get my thoughts straight, but here's my opinion on this. There is a difference between, a dance for children that is obviously to inappropriate music, inappropriate costumes, like adult-looking costumes, and the dance moves themselves are considered inappropriate even by other dancers. And a dance where you can see the dancers' like legs, body, maybe they're wearing a leotard, and they're just doing weird things that you wouldn't do at like Walmart, for example, right? Like a back bend or a tilt. And I think where we draw the line there is really based on our Western culture. Here in the US, there is like a really shame-based approach to the existence of human bodies. We are taught, especially girls, like, you need to cover your shoulders, you need to cover your legs, or else men are going to lust after you and they're going to hurt you. And the onus is put on, children, but often young girls, to protect themselves, that they have to do the work to protect themselves from adults. And widely throughout the country, things like, breastfeeding in public or being topless on a beach, which in Europe, by the way, is completely normal for men, women, and children to do. It's not seen as sexual. We have these restrictions and these like guidelines of how much of your body you can show before we start treating you like a sexual object. And because we have this shame-based view of our own bodies and of bodies in general, I think a lot of people see dancers in leotards doing contortion, lifting their legs, and they immediately conflate that with being sexual in nature, when it's not. We're just seeing someone do something impressive and their body happens to be there, but they're not doing something to attract sexual attention. I think a lot of people come to the conclusion that some of these things are sexual because they take their own shame that they have developed from our society over the decades and centuries, and they're viewing dance through that lens. And there are definitely dances that are inappropriate for children, 100%. I have spoken about them. I don't need to see a 9-year-old in a 2-piece bikini and fishnets dancing to Milkshake. I don't need to see it. But there's a difference between that and seeing a 9-year-old in a leotard doing contortion and showing off their technique. Very, very different things. And when we don't differentiate what we're seeing, if we're seeing something that makes us feel weird because of our shame-based culture versus if we're seeing something that is predatory, if we don't delineate, then it completely erases the importance of the conversation, and we don't get to protect the kids that are, being preyed upon.